The very first thing I said to you, I asked you was what? Good. What are you here for? Right? Because there's a difference between a man and a woman who's living for something versus a man and a woman who's not living for something. Right? So I want you to study. Man, I wish I had the research up here, but there's research that proves that people who have a sense of purpose outlive people who don't have a sense of purpose. Right? I've shared this with you before, but if you had a brand new car and you sit that car in the garage for a year, do you know that car is not going to be as effective and as efficient as a car you put on the road? Because a car wasn't designed to do what? Sit. It erodes when it sits. You missed what I said. You think by using it, you damage it. No, you're really damaging it by not using it. You let gas just sit in the car for a year. Do you know what happens? You let oil just sit in the car. You know what happens? But that same oil that's in the car that's moving and running is a different oil. That gas is being used is a different gas. And most of you are not where you want to be, not because you don't have the ability to be there, but you're not doing nothing. And every time you sit and waste and do nothing, you are eroding your success. You are eroding your abilities. You are eroding your gifts. But when you use them, I didn't start doing voiceover work. I didn't start doing videos. I started with a GED program. And in the GED program, I would give kids work, but before I gave them their work, I would do what? I would motivate them. I went too far. Before I started motivating kids, I started reading personal development books. And then the books I started reading, I gave to them, and I started motivating them from the books. And I went from teaching a GD class to coming to Michigan State and doing the Advantage. And the Advantage is where all my videos blew up. The Guru Story, that wasn't in a big auditorium like this. I don't know if y'all saw the Guru Story, but that was in a normal classroom. We didn't start here with all of y'all. We started with 30, 40 kids, but we started. And by starting, it turned into this. Your problem is you haven't started. Write down right now what you should have started that you didn't start. And remember what I said. Don't give me a passive start. Give me an aggressive start. What haven't you started aggressively? Let me hear it real quick. Somebody be honest. What haven't you started aggressively? What have you started, but you haven't started aggressively? Let me hear it. Yes, ma'am. Say it again. Caring. I love it. Caring about everything. Come on, let's just be real. How many of y'all just real? Like, you going through the motions, but like you ain't really caring about what you're doing. Let me see your hand. Be honest. I love it. Thank you for being transparent. So we need to start with what? You need to care about what you're doing. Put something in it. Put some effort into it. Good. What else? What else have we been passive about? Yes, ma'am. Waking up at 4 a.m. Yep, most of us have been passive about waking up at 4 a.m. Absolutely. Why 4 a.m.? Write that down, even if you ain't ready. I need to start my day before I start my day. Some of y'all just waking up and starting the day. It's just hitting you. You coming right into the day. Like you right in the day. Like boom. You ain't even got time to get ready. I told my wife, I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning. I stayed up late last night, got up at 3, but was like, okay. No, I got up at 2 something. That's what threw me off. I got up at 2 something, got up, did my thing, and was like, yo, I don't usually get up to 3. This 2 something. I might be a little too early. You know what I'm saying? Went back to sleep, got up, it was 6. I couldn't do the stuff that I normally do because I had to start the work at 7. So I wasn't even able to like go into my day. I didn't go in with prayer. I didn't work out. I didn't do the stuff that I do. I had to brush my teeth, take a shower. I had to get on the beginning of the call. And then boom, we had the podcast right after, 2 episodes back to back. Then after that, we went out to eat. Then I had to come back and do stuff. My whole day was ruined. My whole day was ruined. You understand what I'm saying? Then I messed up, hit a pothole, didn't even see the pothole. Now I got to stand in line at Discount Tire. I think I'm doing something by getting there at 8. Me and everybody else had the same idea. Am I lying, Nikki? I get there at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a line all the way. I'm like, everybody got the same idea? We all hit the same pothole. Was that a setup? We all right here. I'm talking about, I'm literally like, I'm at Discount Tire. It's like a football game. It was about 12 dudes that was Discount Tire. They all running, get zoom, zoom, zoom. They starting off with like 10 cars. I'm like, this is unbelievable. They're standing like we stood in line for about 10 minutes. Nobody even came to us because they was doing tires. I told Carl, I was like, yo, Carl, next lick, we open up a Discount Tire, bro. This joke, they making bread, bro. They getting paid. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's about 40 cars outside. Then me and my wife just want to go pick up our car. I was like, yo, it's 6 o'clock. We got to go get our car. I get there at 6. It's a line inside. And it's cars. I said, what time you close? They said, when we finish the last car. I said, what time you going to be finished with my car? They said, about an hour and a half. I'm like, I'm buying a discount tire. Y'all busy at 8 in the morning. Y'all busy at 6 o'clock at night. I need a discount tire. Somebody getting paid this joint. Good. Talk to me. What else are we passively doing? What else are we passively doing? Come on, talk to me. I need 2 more people to be honest. Good. Starting a nonprofit. Good. How long have you been thinking about doing it? 3 years now. So write down the thing that you said you was going to do that you haven't done yet. Write it down. And what I want you to do is I want you to write it down every day and talk to somebody about it every single day until you get tired of talking about what you said you was going to do. Listen to me. Do me a favor. This is how life going to try to punk you. Life is going to tell you, you've been talking about that too much. Shut up and don't say nothing else about it. My first book, which is still selling on the shelf. The Secret to Success is still selling. Matter of fact, somebody said the other day, this is crazy. There was a young lady who volunteered for us. I'm not lying. I thought she was lying. I don't know if you remember this, Valerie. I thought she was lying. She said if you go online and try to buy that book, it's $69. I said, what? I'm about to start selling the few we got. I said, $69? She said that there are people who are selling that book for $69 because you can't go to a bookstore and grab it. That was the first book I ever wrote. Guess how many years it took me from start to completion to do that book? 10 years. Took me 10 years. But you know what I never stopped doing? I never stopped telling people I was going to write a book. And my homies would be like, yo, E, you said you was going to finish that book 5 years ago. You said you're going to finish 6 years ago. You said you're going to finish 7 years ago. You said you're going to finish 8 years ago. And you know what that did? When they kept saying that, guess how I felt when they kept saying that? Got on my nerves. I said, one of these days I'm going to shut your mouth. One of these days I'm going to shut. So do me a favor. Don't go. You embarrassed about it. You don't want nobody to know about it. Don't do that. Keep saying you're going to do it so people can hold you accountable. Because one day it's going to be one day it's going to be one day it's going to be we lost to Dolly Partners, the #1 book and audiobook. Audiobook still going. Guess what? We still getting money every month. We're still getting a check every month off the audiobook. People love, I be having kids all the time, I don't like to read. Okay, listen to the audiobook. They're like, the audiobook. It was like a movie. We got the creaking on the floor. I'm walking up the stairs. You can hear the creak. The line, you can roar. You can hear when I was homeless, the leaves. I'm telling y'all, like, that sucker's so sweet, you can hear me wink. They got that sucker so I go, wow. You can hear that joker. One of the best books, and we're still getting a check from it. But guess what? It took me 10 years. If I would have stopped at 8, we would have never got a check from it. If I'd have stopped at 9, I would have never got a check from it. So don't let nobody fool you. Whatever it is you say you're going to do, just keep saying it out loud. Because one of these days we're going to talk and you're going to be like, yo, E, can you come speak for the nonprofit? I'm going to be, you finished it? For free. Just get a couple books. You know what I'm saying? Buy a couple books to give out to the kids. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So do me a huge favor. Don't stop saying it. How long did it take me to get my first degree? 12 years. How long did it take? 12 years. How long did it take? What is the year that most people, if they don't get their degree, they stop? What year is the year? Because it's not 4, but what's the year that if you're working on it and you don't get it, when do most people stop? At what year? Year 6. That's where most people quit. I went 6 years after most people quit. Most people quit at 6. I went to 7. I was like, yep, I'm going to finish this joker. 8, yeah, we're going to get it finished. 9, yep, I'm almost there. I'm almost going back to get it finished. The 10th year, I was like, let's go. And then boom, the 12th year I finished. And guess what the beautiful thing is? It does not have on my degree how long it took. You only know because I share it with you. My degree you have all the rights and privileges that the person who got magna cum laude, we got the same privileges and rights. Now I need you to hear me because some of you be tripping, you be quitting because you ain't as sweet as somebody else or you don't got it going on like them. The person that got summa cum laude, whatever the summa cum laude, whatever the laudes are. I didn't get none of the laudes, but guess what? I just got a call from one of the I don't know what you call him, but like, it's not the president, but he like the VP was asked, can you come this year, alumni, and we want you to speak. Took me 12 years to finish, but they want me to present. Can you imagine that? It took 12 years for me to finish, and then I finished with like a 2.67. And they're like, we want you to come back and rap. Matter of fact, we've been using your picture on the Eric went here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you took me 12. Did you tell me it took 12? It's like, no, we'll never say it took 12, but we do got your picture up there, though. Can you imagine that? I think my daughter, one of them told me, they was like, Dad, did you know that you one of the like celebrity alums? They got you on the, like when you go on the page, they got you up there. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that I barely got into that university? That I got in with a GED and I'm on the alum boy? That I'm on the front page when you go to the school, they got ET up in that joint? Don't quit. Don't stop. Tell somebody, keep going. Because what you think might be a nightmare might actually be a dream come true for you. Does that make sense? So don't quit, don't stop. All right, good. So can we put that pic up there? I want to show y'all this. This is my last principle for the night. We're going to open up. Yeah, my. So I went to go see this weekend. Y'all know I'll be all on this kind of stuff right here, right? I went to go see Harriet, right? I'm just going to be real. Like, I was geeked that they did the movie because I was like, okay, they usually don't do like, they talk about Harriet, but they don't give her credit that she deserves. And the reason why I say they don't give her credit is because, and I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but if you know the story, it ain't a spoiler. Right? But the thing that's impressive about Harriet Tubman, she's kind of like Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Like Mayweather, like what was he, 51-0? She was like 750 plus 70 is 820. She was 820-0. She never lost. When she went to go free slave, she never lost one. So when you watch the movie, they show other, like they got it on the board. You know, at Sunday school, how they be having, how many people came to church, how many people came to Sunday school, they have it written down. Like, believe it or not, back in her day, it was like the NFL, the NBA, they actually kept a count of, you might call them like, they was like the boss. They called conductors. And it was like, these were the people who, didn't nobody know who they were, but these were the people that went back south and tried to bring people north. So it might have been a dude named Harry Smith, and Harry Smith went to go save 10, and he lost 3. They got it up there. He attempted 10, he lost 3. So you see all the numbers, and all of them had attempts, but they all had losses. Harriet was the only one that didn't have no losses. She was like, what? You know what I'm saying? 750-0. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never lose nobody. Everybody I went to go get, I got them. We came back to the north, right? And so then it was a part of the movie where in her beginning days, she had to do it, and they covered about 100 miles. Covered about 100 miles. But then they came out with a law that prohibit Philly or Pennsylvania for keeping slaves those who were enslaved and they got their freedom. If you were a master down south, you could come and claim them and bring them back. So then it was like, nope, can't do it in America no more. So they went to Canada. That was an additional 500 miles. None of those boys that could do the 100 boy could do the extra 500, 600. But Harriet did her greatest work when the distance was 600. She actually saved 750 with the longer distance. Listen to me very closely. I'm about to help you out, though, because we're not talking about Harriet and Harriet goals. We're talking about your goals. And what was crazy was she was the only female that was able to do it, and she was short and small. Beast mode. I'm going to show you how she did it. So when she first set out to do it, those people that were her mentors all told her the exact same thing. Valerie, tell me, or one of y'all tell me so I don't get it wrong. What was the exact thing when she was on her journey to get her freedom? What was the exact precise words that her pastor said to her? Fear. Is what? Fear is your greatest. Fear is your greatest enemy. Write that down. Fear is your greatest enemy. He told her, do me a favor. When you run, when you leave here and try to go north, fear is your greatest enemy. Whatever you do, don't be afraid. You see a dog, don't be afraid. You see your master on a horse with a gun, look him at his face, but don't be afraid. Whatever you do, don't be scared, because if you're afraid, it's going to get you. But if you have let me tell you something. I don't know. I want to make sure I get that in your spirit, that whatever you're doing, if you got a 2, like recognize that it's a 2, but don't let it scare you. See the 2 as a challenge. Like, don't look at the 2 like, man, this thing is, look at the 2 like, I'm about to kill it. I'm about to add that 8 to it. Look at the 7 and go, we got this. Right? And so I promise you, like if you read her story and you watch the movie, when she woke up from her sleep, them dogs was like right there. Like you could hear, they were this close to her. They were this close to taking her out on her first journey. They was this close. They could see her. Like they were physically looking at her like, there she go right there, let's go get her. But because she wasn't afraid, she was like, I'm out. And some of you are not where you're supposed to be, or you're not going to get where you're supposed to get to because you're afraid.